Good evening, everyone. If you're watching this across the socials, these are typically private videos that we post only in the Discord, kind of just doing a recap of the day's trading and what my feelings are. So if you see this and you want to join and participate in free week, no payment required. You just have to be a member of the Discord and everything's unlocked for you. Shoot me a DM or visit the WAP. So first thing we do every morning is we kind of create a daily focus list. Lots going on in the market. It's not really beneficial to be running around looking at 50 different names, even though there might be 50 setups coming at some point in the future. It's really good to tighten that focus into a few things that you like. That said, today was actually more than usual. There was a lot of, movements in the pre-market. I still made a note to members this morning that really trying not to do much today. It doesn't look very clear. The reclaim isn't enough for me to get bullish. And I did cut some SPY puts that we had bought on Friday into the close, because on Friday into the close, we took about 10% of our put profits and we tried to hunt for a continuation. The thesis there was if no bounce into the close, then we'll look to see if we can get a gap down over the weekend. Now, of course, we got those headlines that made people feel bullish. And so we got the pre-market gap up, so we just went ahead and cut those. And so we're still up big. We're coming in today with lots of profits. We're up big on October, and we're coming in before big earnings. So, sideways action is going to be the base case for the day. Which is pretty much what we got. That said, still thought Amazon had a great setup. This is a stock that we've been shorting for a while, and we're hunting for a continuation. It also had one of the weakest bounces. We've also been shorting Reddit some, so we had that listed as a continuation. We've been shorting Microsoft quite a bit, also looking for a continuation there. QUBT I thought also looked pretty weak today. MP looks really strong. We've made a ton of money on MP, and it looked like a great setup into the open. And then what I thought was a weaker setup was AMD. This one actually failed before the market even opened. So let's kind of go over to our charts here. So kind of going over the macro thesis, bounce up into the bottom of the bullish broken wedge is pretty normal, and we haven't reclaimed or anything on smaller time frames. In fact, we're just kind of hovering around along this bearish EMA. So there's no clear breakouts, and also notice the alignment there with the bottom of that wedge as well. So not enough to feel bullish at all. VIX still persistently high. It's at 19, needs to be below 17 for me to feel like, okay, time to get long broadly. MP got a really great move right off the open, but spreads were really wide. Tough market to get into. So I don't have a ton of FOMO with this name either. We've made an absolute killing. It's actually one of my, it's like, I think I don't know if it's the top, but it's probably top 3 for stock I've made the most money on this year. So went ahead and did buy some calls into the dip into the close though, and it looks really good. In the after hours right now, it's over 100. So really nice play there, especially since we got in at 95. So that'll be really great tomorrow morning. We tried QUBT but kept it small. It broke kind of this pre-market structure here, but it didn't break that low. But I went ahead, it looks like I actually did a little bit. So I went ahead and tried it with a really small positioning and then was pretty quickly stopped. I was pretty quick to get out as soon as we broke above that pre-market. We got out of that one, but I thought it was worth testing the waters a bit. We tried Reddit. You probably could have held Reddit, but I decided to cut it. Not because it hit a stop, but I don't like holding things that are just straight flat and stagnant like that. I'll look for it to see if I get a better entry. I don't want to sit in those contracts and just let theta murder me. I'd rather wait when there's a nice continuation there. So we were pretty quick to get out of that one. Amazon never gave the trigger today. Microsoft gave a nice continuation. We're in these and we swung them. We'll look to see if we can fall off some more on longer time frames. Microsoft looks incredibly weak. I'm about to see like we came and we tested what was support, what was major support for the name, is now becoming resistance. So we didn't get a clear break through that. So I really want to sit in those puts a bit longer and see if we can get a nice continuation of the downside, especially since the daily and the weekly have really nice bearish influence for a short. So we're feeling that one out as well. Still not very large sizing there. Not like we had last week. Last week we were we were loaded in Microsoft puts last week. We're a lot smaller right now. So tomorrow I'll be watching MP. Maybe we'll get a nice revisit of the previous day's highs on the morning, and we can actually buy some more. That'd be nice. I'm going to be watching GDX. We got a really nice move or a continuation out of gold. And so to all-time highs, in fact. We'll try to get a better picture of that. Massive gap up and then nice continuation there, kind of consolidating, turning that pre-market resistance into support to the close. Looks like it gapped up again. But GDX is kind of lagging, so it's got a nice triangle set up, honestly, into the close here. Just consolidation at the highs I really like. So I'll watch it tomorrow and see if we do want to make that one of the focus lists for tomorrow. And NDM had some positive news today and has this really nice like cup formation. I decided to take a small position for some Novembers, and I just kind of want to see if we could fill the gap to 2. They're extremely cheap and the liquidity is actually pretty decent. So I'll take a small position, and maybe this thing takes some time and forms a handle here, and that's fine. I'd probably just add to the position in that case. But that's something else we've got kind of on the peripherals. That doesn't seem to be trending much with the market. Another name that kind of has a similar formation to this, CLF Steel. Technically off the EMA here. This revisit back to this bullish EMA is a buy, but I'm gonna give this one another time, another day. It didn't put it on the focus list, but it was on like our trade ideas list, which is a separate list for people here, where I post like these. Typically, I post way more than this, but I want to see if we can break this resistance here and get a nice continuation off that. I think that'd be a cleaner entry, and then we'd hunt for more new highs, yearly highs. So yeah, really short. I don't really have much else to say than that. So we'll see you in the morning. Oh, I guess the only thing I want to say is that continued weakness on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Really, really watching this wedge here on Ethereum. I do like the way that it defended this larger wedge here. It kind of broke, but then it quickly reclaimed. I still don't like the suppression here. I hate how the momentum indicators look. They still look incredibly bearish. Bitcoin still looks way more bearish than Ethereum. I think another plunge here. I think this thing quite easily takes out 107 and then probably takes out 100K. Probably takes out 98 too. From what I'm looking at here, I would not buy this. It would need to blow through all-time high for me to buy this. But anyways, that's all I got. So you have a good night. God bless. See you in the morning.